Apparently, a Canadian athlete scored a 0 in an Olympic dive because they missed something in the worst ever dive. I was looking it up now, so you guys know.
There's not a
Uh,
lot you
it
can
just
miss
says
in a
Canadian
dive and be
athlete
like,
scores
okay.
0.0 in Olympic nightmare as dive branded worst ever. Okay.
Jeez.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
That would suck.
How? Is there
I'm
video
He still
of
made it
this?
in the water,
I'm
though.
reading the article. Okay?
Is there video of this? Like,
I
if
don't
you hit the
know.
water,
In
I
the
feel like you
water,
get a
that's
1.
still at least a 1.
I'm
Yeah.
reading the article.
I hope
Like
he got hit by like a bird or something as he was diving.
Yeah,
No,
like,
because he
it-
would have got a higher
Diver
score for that.
Pamela Ware scored 0.0 in what has been called the Olympics' worst ever dive during an attempt in the 3-meter springboard qualifier in Tokyo. So it was a qualifier, wasn't technically at the Olympics. It was in her
How
second
the
Olympics.
world?
Oh no, it was at the Olympics in Tokyo. It was a qualifier to get into the next stage. So anyways, in her Olympics, Ware was trying to get to the final of the event. As she prepared for her last attempt in the qualifier, she was taking on a dive of a 3.5 difficulty. However, as she was about to leap in the air, she pulled out of the maneuver, slipping off the end of the diving board. The result of her bailout was a pencil dive feet first into the pool, in a sight rarely seen in professional diving. And certainly at the Olympics, the dive was given a score of 0.0 by the onlooking judges. Another rarity.
Okay. Okay, look.
She still made it in the
I
water.
totally
I
get that.
feel like a 0 is a horse crap. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
she turned it into something that has dive in the name, right? Like,
Yeah,
it
but
wasn't pretty.
But she went in feet first, and look, the
I'm
picture
not-
of her is also like flailing ridiculously. Look, I'm just saying.
No, I
Look,
would give it
I'm
a
just
1
saying,
at
if
that
you have a
point.
name for it and
No,
that
I
name
think-
involves dive rather
But I
than
think the
plummet,
point is,
or
I think the point is that in a dive, you need to go in head first, like an Olympic dive. You need to go in head first. That is part
Uh-huh.
of the dive and part of the score. So by not doing that, you do not fill any of the criteria of the quote unquote dive in
okay.
the competition.
Oh,
okay,
man.
I
but
don't
but
know,
hold on,
because I
but
just
hold
said
on.
If we
I
were
don't
the
understand Olympic
judges, we would
scoring.
be arguing with you so hard right
I
now.
don't
Jason.
understand Olympic scoring.
Yeah, he
No, if
he
you were
literally
the
couldn't be a
judges-
judge. He
If
can't be
you were the
decried.
judges, they gave it a 0. So I'm not the one you guys should be arguing with. Go
I'm
argue
just
with the
saying, if
judges.
someone does like a quadruple like fucking, I don't know, somersault into the water, but technically their feet hit first, that ain't a 0, right?
But she didn't even do that. She literally fell off the diving
Yeah,
board and
yeah,
was
but-
flailing it. Look,
You know,
I
like,
don't know. I'm not the
Hey,
one.
guys.
I
who scored
feel
the
like
0,
there could be
y'all.
I think that's what it is. I feel like there could be a worse dive, which means it doesn't work as a 0.
You
know what I
could,
mean?
Hey, guys.
like belly flop into the water.
I'm probably peeking my mic. Hi, everybody.
Hi. We're just about almost to 10 minutes.
Oh, we are. Wow. How did we do that? Hello, everyone.
By BSing, as we
We're-
do.
We're at the 10-minute mark, but yeah, we can definitely start. Chat, do you guys want us to like play Pathfinder? Would you like that? Would that be good for you?
Would that be good for you? Oh my gosh.
We should probably do that.
Hey, average
Alright, fair
risk
enough.
there says eh.
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 We can
Yeah.
keep talking about the worst dive in Olympic history, apparently.
Yeah, we
Hey,
could
keep
probably
arguing
fill
about
this whole time slot with a subject none of us have any goddamn clue about,
Oh yeah, none
Right?
at all. I have no authority to speak on any.
without
part of
even
this.
like using Google at all anymore for the rest of the
I
conversation.
didn't even watch the Tokyo Olympics, so I'm even less qualified than the average person who at least watched the Olympics.
It's like me and cooking shows. Every time for the critique, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Hi, everybody. You can see our faces now.
Oh my gosh! Ah, we're here.
Hi
Yeah.
guys.
Sorry, I did just a visual count in because I didn't want to interrupt whatever Molly was saying. I
Oh, that's
wasn't
nice.
even
Thank
listening.
you.
Uh,
Yeah, that's fine. Sure.
I think we've bought Panda plenty of time, though.
we?
That's true.
I think
You
we
ready
got
for your
plenty,
recap?
plenty of time for the recap.
Yes. Thank you, Hyperphase, for sending me his notes. Because my notes were like one thing long. It's real bad.
I think I had
I
one.
actually took notes.
I had 2 lines.
So, last time on Into the Storm, Ivana, this bandit lady whose shoe size is approximately an 8, defeated a bunch
You
of
said
storm wardens.
9 last time, you bastard.
I know. Oh, she actually has 2 different
Wow.
sets of feet. That's a little
Somebody's
Oh
piece of
my
fact.
god.
Can we not?
Defeated a bunch of storm wardens. They pretty much wiped the ground. The area with them. One escaped. Pretty much came to us and told us we need to spy on them and tell them like what they're gonna do. Be a spy, basically. Some of our group decided to go look for food. While I had found a damaged bow and decided to try and fix it, which took no time at all. None at all. About 6 hours later, they came back with no food, and I had finally fixed the bow. No reason. It took that long at all.
Adding the bow to Samuel's Book of Grudges.
Yes. Went out and got some food for the group, enough to survive on for a day. That night, Eli kind of was visited unknowingly by a shadow individual that left a ring on the log he was sitting on. Correct?
It was a
It was
bracelet.
It was
Near-
a
It was
bracelet.
a bracelet.
not a ring.
Bracelet.
Yeah, it was
Yes,
a
thank
bracelet,
you.
yeah.
Made of the little beads on it were made of resin and things like that. Don't know exactly what it's from or what it's for yet. We decide to go back to the old camp that is occupied by the Stormwarns, and they don't kill us on sight. We go back and have some decent conversations with them, and they let us rest in our tents and recuperate a bit, which we desperately need. They approach Samuel Goodbean, who's not quite resting yet. He's taking a break and goes on a perimeter watch and has a decent conversation with one of them. When he notices a individual hiding in a tree, spying on the camp, and lets it be known, and they rush off and pursue this individual. Later, we talk to the chief, and he suggests we either do some recon work or like wet work to take out a individual who is very interested in, who has a keen interest in the arcane, who is more than likely investigating their home underneath the bandit camp, which is a part of the ruins that dot the land here. So more than likely, we're going to end up trying to eliminate that individual. He also gave us the option of joining them in battle and going an all-out fight with them. I think that's where we left off. Is once we had come to that conclusion.
I believe you're correct, because we were kind of running up against the time there.
Mhm.
Anyone want to add anything to that recap?
Val Murray is a Vishkanya that is Tertian.
Yes. Is that one word, or is that Val Murray, like first last name, or is it?
I thought it was first and last name.
I thought it was all one word.
It's his whole name.
Okay.
It's just his first name. I said that weird. Val Murray is one word, one name.
Okay. Bam. Fixed.
Just interesting. Yeah.
The leader also said something about hey, if you could potentially get me to Barda, then yeah, good times will be had. Not as like an official option, but an
He
implied
was more
option.
suggesting that actually increases the odds of victory.
Yeah.
Bardot is very dangerous.
Yes.
Okay, anything else? Anything else anybody want to add?
So,
Okay. You are also not currently freed from your captivity with the Storm Wardens. But they have basically given you the conditions for it, right? And of course, also, if you manage to kill Val Murray, not only will you be awarded your freedom, but an honored place among their people.
That's right.
Had something on my desk that I figured I would start fidgeting with it and make a bunch of noise. My mic is too close to it, so I had to move it. Anyway. But yeah, so I believe we left off on them kind of giving you guys some space. You actually did get a full rest finally. You are... Sam, you were finally permitted to go and spend some time with your shores.
Yes. Yes. Old Ginger, I've missed her.
But you guys are otherwise left to your own devices for now. You still have the opportunity to meet with Ivana this night, if you decide to.
We were going to eat breakfast.
They did state that if we left the camp, we had to be escorted.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have to figure out how to do that.
But yeah, we'll cut to you guys. Do you eat like rations and stuff from your own packs, or the bugs and random berries and such you found for breakfast, or you kind of ask if you can get food from the locals?
I thought the storm chief implied we could ask to get food from the locals.
He did say you could, but that doesn't mean you're going to.
Yeah, I was just gonna get rations out of our packs since we have access to our stuff.
Yeah.
Very well. I guess I'll eat my rations as well. May as well, since they could potentially be taken from me at any minute.
Did they remove the dusk melons that I had in Ginger's pack?
That's a good question. How many did you have? You think you had like 3?
Yeah.
I thought we each had one.
Yeah, I think we all had one each. Gotta pull up my inventory.
Yeah, you 3 had them, but weren't you carrying all of them?
I mean...
I'll tell you here in a second, because I did not have my thing pulled up.
Like, I actually have it in my inventory.
Yeah, okay. I have one dusk melon that weighs 5 pounds. So that makes me think that I gave one to each.
Yeah.
So that could be used on top of other rations to really round out our diet.
One dusk melon shouldn't weigh 5 pounds, though.
No. So it was the prize-winning dusk melon. Well,
it's not like a full freaking like watermelon size. It's more like a squash.
In the old Melantine Farms dusk melon prize-winning crop. Yeah.
So a giant squash. No, it's gonna weigh more like 1.5 pounds.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I had in my thing. I was confused when he said 5 pounds.
So.
Actually, I'll eat if it's still there. I'll eat my half a loaf of rye bread.
It seems like your stuff is mostly still there. It has been moved and rummaged through, but it doesn't seem like they took any of it. Okay, so you guys settle down, eat some breakfast. You can see that the Storm Wardens are eating some kind of like sweet-smelling porridge-looking stuff. That is it's kind of odd, like vibrant colors. Actually, it looks kind of pinkish and purplish. Yeah, that's my dog. Sounds like he's a truck that's about to backfire. It's a weird, like, rumbling noise. But yeah, it's kind of like pinkish and purplish. You can sort of see like bits of like crushed like nuts and stuff in it, and some kind of oat, some kind of cereal grain. That's what they're all kind of walking around eating and talking to one another.
Still have some of that
they stay away
Hayethe
from
on
you.
me as well from the one-on-one session,
Nice.
so I could bust that out and yeah. No, I will. I will take out some of that Howlet honey and I will offer it to the masses.
By the
Us
masses,
first,
you mean
and
your group. Okay.
yes, our group, and then see if anybody else. Because I have a quantity of 5 of it, so
It's a lot. Yeah.
yeah. So that's like 5 servings. That's us individually, but
Yeah, you can like kind of warm the rye bread over the fire a little bit, and then you
Yeah.
get some honey to put on it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Such a mind reader.
Yeah, when you take out honey and you guys start eating it, you definitely start getting some looks from other people. Mostly the children. Most of the adults have some amount of self-control.
it's so good. And start just really eating it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man,
I remember.
so glad I don't have to share this. But yeah, the children have way less discipline. Most of them do. Some of the older ones are kind of keeping their distance, but they are definitely hawking it. But like all the smaller ones are looking at it and they're going where they're looking. Basically, they're just kind of stomping through the mud a little bit, and they get kind of close.
Damn my kindness. I'll use about a third of what I have, and then I'll just pass it off to a child that I see.
A child.
A child. And I will let them decide if they want to share.
So there's going to be a gang fight
So
Yes.
right in front of us.
So you hand off this little this ceramic container that they gave this to you in. To one of the kids just kind of gets close and you just hand it off to him, and he looks down at it, looks up at you, he kind of smiles a little bit, and then he gets this really serious look on his face, picks up a stick and looks back at the other children who are all beginning to surround him. And then he takes off into the woods. And you can kind of see him darting around through the tree line. You can hear the sticks clashing. Some shouts of fury and glee. Parents don't seem to mind at all. One of the women kind of looks over at you and gives you just sort of a nod of thanks. Then she sort of as she's you can see that she's kind of messing with some clothing and stuff that looks like it just got cleaned, and she's working and sort of maneuvering her way toward the tree line to keep an eye on them. But again, you guys are otherwise left to your own devices. Did you discuss what option you're taking, if you've got a plan, how you want to approach trying to go to that meeting or not? That's kind of on you guys.
Lamia still thinks the best route so far is to try and find the hidden path, which would potentially go with meeting up with Ivana and following her, essentially. That's her opinion.
Well, we're going to be followed by these guys, so we need to make sure that if we do that, they don't get seen, because if we get sniffed out, she's not going to hesitate to try and kill us.
Mm-hmm.
It's true, says Hattie between mouthfuls of bread and honey.
At least we'll have a lot of calories in that this time.
We really need them.
No. after a diet of dandelions and locusts.
Basically,
Uh,
grub worms.
What do you think, Samuel and Eli?
well, it's gonna be hard convincing these guys not to attack them, the Ivana and them, as soon as we're done with our meeting. I figure.
Well,
Well,
I mean, if they want the secret passage, they're gonna be able to hold off until we can at least find it, right?
Mhm.
They want that too, so it's not like they're just gonna, these people they've always just shown some discipline, so they're not just gonna fly off the handle and attack immediately. They're patient hunters. I think we can trust them to do that one thing at least. Is be patient.
Well, that will come to the discussion when we do that.
So
When-
we are going to meet her?
That sounds like our best bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I certainly don't want to fight in a war that more than likely has a decent chance of not going well.
I mean, I don't want to fight in any large scale battle that doesn't seem like it fits our interests well. We're here to get something and get out. And
Not
if-
exactly. Yeah,
Right.
too
if
keen
we
on
can-
that either.
Get rid of Bardat while we do it, that's great. But I'm not trying to risk all of these people's lives and any other random bystanders. I feel like we take out Bardat, we cut off the head. A lot of these bandits are going to just disperse into the woodwork, and that's fine with me.
But that's true. We're not really being paid to defeat him, just to get that weapon.
Right. If that's what they end up doing, that's fine. And I mean, I think we'd all be a little better off without him roaming around the countryside. But I'm not.
Plus, he has
trying
a
to-
really big bounty on his head.
Yeah,
That
but
would be nice.
I'm not trying to engage in a full-scale combat over this area, right?
No.
Now this Val Murray character, did they tell us that he was one of them, like arcane users, or
Yeah, he was studying something that had to do with magic and arcane. So I'm assuming he's probably got expertise in that area.
Yeah, they think he's familiar with like Tarshian magic and teachings.
Yeah, I mean, if he's Tishin, he's most likely some kind of, sorcerer.
I don't think
Not too.
everyone is like you, though.
No, but he's got some kind of magical inclination.
I'm not too thrilled about fighting somebody like that. I don't know much about that. I mean, I did fight a guy that turned into a bear once, but that's a little
The guy
different.
turned into a bear?
Well, he was a tree, and then he turned into a
What?
guy. Yeah, it was super interesting fight. He had a
That
bird
sounds
flying
like-
around as well.
Some of that like druidic nature magic,
Yeah.
very, very out of my realm of expertise as well, honestly.
Yeah, don't
So-
want to have to do that again.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't either.
A tree turned into a person, turned into a bear? I didn't even know people could do that.
Mm-mm. I heard tales from my dad, but I've always thought that part was always the more crazy part.
Some strange things out here in this world.
I guess so. I really want to see that, but not if it's going to be like angry.
Nah, he weren't happy.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be around anything that can be a bear and is angry.
That sounds like a really good story, though. Is that where you got those claws?
Oh yeah, I mean not from the bear guy, but from the individuals I helped found them, and they gave them to me.
Oh.
That was
okay.
nice of them.
Hope they're doing all right.
I'm sure they're
Oh.
better than where we are right now.
I hope so. They're having some hunting issues. I'm gonna go check on Ginger. I'll talk to y'all in a bit. I'm gonna wander off and talk. Scrooge face first of all. Yeah. Yes.
She seems pretty happy to see you.
Yes.
As you approach the one of the people that's over there kind of tending to the horses, the animals, I should say, just sort of kind of moves out of her way, and she like trots part of the way to you.
Mm-hmm. Get the brush out, start brushing.
Seems like they've done an okay job, especially for people who aren't as familiar with horses. But yeah, she needs a little bit of TLC.
Mm-hmm.
With the other two of you, Hattie also speaks up again and says, do you think I should go?
Well,
to the meeting?
You were with us the first time. I think you need to be with us this time. If we're just a person short, I think that's going to look really suspicious.
Man, to be honest, I wouldn't feel comfortable leaving you behind.
Well, I think she'd be fine here with them as long as we're doing what they ask. But yeah, I definitely also feel more comfortable with you in my line of sight. That's for sure.
It's fair. It's just that she said something about like, I don't know, I needed some sort of like usefulness, and like if she makes me do a fist fight with someone, I don't know how well I'm going to do.
Oh, well, that's not your form of expertise. You just got to tell me what you're good at. I wouldn't do well if we had to do a fist fight either. It's not my,
I mean,
not
I can
my
carry a lot of stuff, and I run pretty fast, and I'm really good at tracking numbers.
Right.
But I don't think she cares about that.
No, probably not, but that's okay, because the reason we're there is to pretend that we have information for them on the Stormwolves, right? We need to speak with the chief, figure out exactly what he wants to tell us, and your usefulness, obviously, is we'll have our stuff back, hopefully, is explaining to them, obviously what you're here to do, which is help us and keep track of everything and make sure we're going the right way and all that, and have all the things we need. So that's what's going to be useful to her, not fighting.
And we'll just have to be really quiet.
Right. Well, me and Sam are here to fight people, not you. So.
Okay.
Lamia will nod at this.
You're really good at fighting.
Thanks.
That guy definitely was not ready. He seemed really strong, but I think you are stronger than him.
I maybe.
I think you're probably stronger than me too. Like, even with just muscles. She flexes. You can actually see she does have some muscle definition in her arms.
Oh, nice. I don't know. Sometimes the muscle isn't just in the arms, it's how you use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I do like a bunch of I like had a book about doing different exercises, and all sorts of things to make sure that like you have full body strength. And I try to use that when I throw the javelins, but I don't know how good I am at it.
Well, whenever we have the opportunity, I'll see if I can give you any pointers or such.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to learn how to use more things than just throwing javelins.
Well, of course, but it's always better to focus on one thing first. And if you feel comfortable with javelins the most right now, that might be your best bet.
Yeah, I do. But like, I don't know. What if stuff is like attacking me, like in the face? Javelins are like not made for. You can stab with them, but they're kind of like not good for it. And I don't even really know how to use this knife. She just like holds this knife out, other than the stabs and use the pokey end.
I mean, I would say there's not much more to that, but I mean, there can be a little bit of finesse to it.
There's a lot more to that.
I know.
Knife fighting is actually pretty difficult.
You don't want to stab yourself after all.
Yeah. basically,
I'll wander back in.
The smaller
whenever.
the, yeah, it's fine. You can wander back in on this, but basically, like the smaller the weapon, the less margin for error you typically have when it comes to fighting someone else who is armed. So, yeah, knives are kind of difficult to learn. That's more of a real life application thing, but
Yeah.
That's why spear is king.
spear's very simple, and you get to poke from a long range. Anyway,
You do.
regardless, but yeah, I don't know. I just would like to know more things than just like the javelin. I can throw it. Like I'm okay at that. That's fine. But I don't know. Your weapon is really cool, or like swords are really cool, or I don't know. Bows are really cool, and they're closely tied to our culture, and I'm not exactly good with them.
I can relate to that in a little bit. I mean, in a bit of a way. But the reason I'm not good at them is I'm not very
Except you are good at them.
no dex just like damage wise it'd be. Oh no, was it? No, it is strength, isn't it? I thought it was dexterity. It's only if you do a feat for that, isn't it?
You're talking about for damage with a dex for damage with a bow. You just can't do that in Pathfinder. There's like
Okay.
2 options for doing that, and they're both class features and not feats.
Okay, never mind. Forget what she just said then.
But yeah, they're dex to
Getting-
hit things for accuracy and finesse, but yeah, composite bows they add your strength bonus to damage.
Okay. I'm getting versions mixed up, I think. So yeah, never mind of what Lamia said. Like, yeah. I can't really relate 100% there, but I've basically been taught to try and handle a lot of weapons.
I know, and it's awesome. I kind of had to self-teach the javelin. My parents don't really like that kind of thing.
Oh, I can definitely relate to that there.
Yep.
I had to basically mutilate myself before my dad would actually teach me anything. Like this one, like she'll pull down like part of her shirt, and you'll see like a nasty like rope burn scar that like looks still kind of fleshy. Like this, I tried to do like a cool maneuver around a tree, and then I tripped and fell, and yeah, that's where this came from. And let's see.
Wait, you did most of those to yourself?
Yeah.
You're kind of pointing at the myriad of scars.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it a lot less. Never mind.
Maybe
And-
we keep that a secret.
Yes.
Lamia just tilts her head.
It's scarier if people think they came from like battles, you know?
I mean,
You could always view it as a battle of self, but I digress.
It's really still not this scary.
Hattie, if you want to use my spear, you can use my spear if you want.
But I don't know how to use it. I like not
well,
like
between
a
me
good
and
person. I can poke things with it, but like I can't like if someone else has a spear and they're like, I know how to fight with the spear, they're just going to knock it out of my hand and stab me. I think I will be about as good with the regular spear as I am stabbing at people with the javelin, to be honest.
Mm,
I at least have more practice with that.
that's very true. Well, when we get out of this, Hattie, I'd be willing to try and teach you what I know.
you use a pole arm, a spear is basically that. I mean, surely some of those things apply.
I don't know.
There's a different stance balance to that, but
Yeah,
regardless,
you hear
it's not
your
some-
father's frustrated tone in your head. At that. But
regardless, it's really not the time to worry about it, Hattie.
I guess this through. I don't have time. Okay, so we're going to the meeting. Now we're just waiting to talk to the chief.
Yeah, I think so. We'll just go have that conversation and figure out what he wants us to do and who all he's sending with us.
Hmm.
They give us our weapons back.
No.
Oh, okay. Rest of your stuff, yes.
Yeah, I still don't even have my armor yet.
Past will talk to the chief, or you guys have anything else you want to discuss in private? You'll have more time later, obviously.
I think I'm sure we talk to the chief.
I think so too.
Good bean? Alright.
Yep.
Doesn't take too much longer. You can see people are kind of wrapping up with breakfast. You see most of the children have moved fairly far away, but you can still see them pretty well. They're all kind of sitting on the ground now, with sticky hands and sticky faces. A lot of stick welts across the shoulders and back of the neck, parts of the face. You can see that some of them have done some rudimentary first aid with strips of cloth on one another. But eventually, excuse me, one of the storm wardens comes over and kind of just motions to you all, brings you over to the chief, who is just sitting outside of his tent, motions for you all to take a seat. His guards all sit also.
I will sit.
Yep.
If you don't sit, he waits until you do. So I'm just assuming everyone sits down.
Yeah.
And then he speaks and says, "Well, I hope that you all had a more restful sleep than other nights of late."
Certainly.
Well, the next few days will not be so tender, I suspect. So, have you discussed what you'd like to do out of the options I presented?
So we think we're going to still go to this meeting and, provide her whatever information she's asking for that you're willing to give us, to give them that false information so that we can try and get her to identify that secret passage they use. And that way you all can tech through there and we can hopefully just, take out Bardat for you. Well, you can take out Bardat. We'll get you there.
We will certainly make every effort. Your information needs to be close to the truth. We don't know what all they know of our tactics, of our setup, but they've proven they can get spies in and out quickly. Very well. All right. Tell them that our movement is based on the weather. We travel with the wind. In peace, we walk with it. In times of war, we walk against. When the winds blow away, and they will, because we will ask it of them, that is when we come. Something they do not know. And something that you can tell them will happen very soon. Reveal the mystery that it is within our power to make such an occasion immediate. Take the cold, howling gusts as our horns of war. They will hear them soundly. They are in a cave. The numbers I am less comfortable with you sharing. The numbers of our people are not as many as before. Those you see here, straight-backed and disciplined, hard on the eyes, resolute. They are what's left, because they are strongest. Not all of our people are warriors. At least not all of them were born to be. We don't carry the Amidraba like we used to when we were like the Ulas. We don't wear it on our bodies. We do still carry them in our hearts. Sadly, because of our circumstances, many of us go against our destinies. We are not all spears and bows and mountains. Some of us are quills, thrushes, trees. But into the hand goes the arrows for all in these times. And some fled that fate. I'd prefer if you told them that we are merely temporarily separated. Many scouting parties on the lookout. Perhaps from the north. And we have simply not made contact with them for some time. At best, perhaps they go after these illusory parties. At worst, they simply realize the deception and know that our numbers are smaller. There goes. Okay. What else do you think you will need to share with her? You have a more intimate sense of her sensibilities than I. Never met the woman in person.
She seemed pretty no-nonsense, just wanted useful information and made sure that we would give what we could to make their assault on you as easy as possible. So I think that's pretty much what's going to help us. I mean, she probably wants to know a little bit about maybe your tactics or whatever that she might already know through spies and current dealing, but maybe just wants things confirmed.
Of course.
I don't know.
We don't need the woods. We use the mists and fog. It's easy for us, as we can call upon it. This is something they likely know, but I advise sharing it anyway. The rest of our tactics, I'm afraid I cannot disclose. Plans for the future. And because I don't know their intelligence well enough, crafting a sensible lie is a risk. Easier to go with the truth. Share what you have learned yourselves. That is all. There are two other pieces of preparation that need to be discussed. One, you're going to this meeting with this woman. How do you assure her that you remain useful enough not to execute? You are loose ends. The second is a matter of... what's the word? Hold on. C word. Collateral. We are investing in you to an extent. I'm sure you will want to take at least some implements of battle in case these talks go poorly. But we will need something of importance to say here to assure that you will return. That you will not turn on us, and that you will not simply flee back to your city walls.
Lamia sighs and then looks back to her horse, looking kind of miserable.
He tilts his head a little.
Chetla's very important to me.
Same with Ginger.
Looks between you two. Looks at you, Eli, then over to Nyx.
Well, yeah, my horse is also very important to me, or Nixie, but suppose we could leave them as our collateral. I don't feel good about it, but I think that makes it a stronger bargaining chip, huh?
He kind of seems to be examining all three of you, and he stops at you, Sam. Says, "One will be enough."
Sorry, that's a horrible thing to laugh at.
But yeah. Well, you've seemed to take good care of her, so that's what's most important to me. So even if I die there, at least she'll be taken care of.
You die a warrior's death, you can be certain that she will have her place among us. Though
You giving me my sword, then that's the most I can offer.
I can't guarantee her safety even in your demise, as my people soon ride to battle as well.
Understandable. All things live and die. I would just like her to. Yes. I'd like her to live a long life, though. But it's not always what happens.
We will see. Yes, one shall be enough. The others can go with you. It'd be suitable for you to be able to make a swift getaway if at all possible. I simply urge you to make your way back here. It is unlikely you have many other allies in the wilds at the moment. You were saying
Is that
That's pretty true.
Is that if things go wrong?
that is either way, I would say.
Okay.
Though if you can find a way in, that is of the utmost importance.
Right. And he's obviously going to send people to follow us, right?
Aye.
More than went with us last time, I should hope, since she dispatched them rather quickly.
Or less.
Enough of a force to aid in a retreat.
Okay.
But we can't compromise the oncoming battle.
That makes sense.
There will be
Is there going to be any
fallback
kind of
force.
signal you want us to give in case we think something's going to go down and we might need them to attack so that they're not taken unawares?
We could provide that. He motions to one of the others. They hand you a little wooden whistle. Signal whistle. It's
I toss it to Hadlin.
kind of catches it. He wasn't really expecting it.
Yeah. I think you're the best person to have that on you.
I am a good whistler. Interesting skill. But yes, below that they should know the signal. I'll inform them as well. We will send 6. No more. And they will aid in a flight, but not in an all-out conflict. Against the Dernainum, it is still suicide in this case.
Right. Well, plan is obviously not to have to fight her.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. And if you do, your best option is to kill her before she kills you. And it would be a major reduction in force for the enemy side.
Mm-hmm.
She has grown quite strong from what I've heard. I know you have your reserves about that, but if it is you or her, I trust which side you will pick.
Right.
Survival's gotten me this far, so yeah. She's definitely quite strong. We saw firsthand.
So, very well. Ginger, the Shores will stay here with us. All of you will go. You may take your equipment and your other beasts. There will be 6 men following you. Not particularly close, but close enough. What else do you need for this to be successful?
I don't know if there's anything else you guys can provide. We just need a lot of luck.
We have been out of that for some time. Unless you can make use of poor luck.
Not really a luck thief. Not my forte.
Well, if you ever find yourself in that position, we have plenty to spare.
Well,
But if not, you have a journey to make. It's not too far, but it does take time.
Mm-hmm.
let's get on it then, I guess.
Uh-oh.
What's oh?
This
Oh, the stream!
buffering.
Curse you, stream!
Wow. Hey, chat. Y'all say something if you're still in the stream.
I mean, I put something in the chat.
Oh, I thought you spelled Nix with a Y because of the.
I do spell Nix with a Y.
Oh,
But
okay.
my thing auto-corrected it. Let me fix that. There we go. I added Nix to my dictionary.
Hi there, Lola Cherry.
There we go.
You tuned in
Added
just
that
in
to
time
my-
for us to have a weird technical thing happen.
There we go. Added that to my autocorrect dictionary.
Okay, I think Roll20's losing its mind a little bit, so I'm just gonna refresh it on my side. Should be aight. Yeah, there we go.
Hooray. Okay.
Well, no one in
Like, all
chat
2 of us
is responding, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna yell at somebody on Discord.
Yeah, to see if they're able to see anything. Print book, yeah.
I mean, I can see everything.
Okay. Yay, thank you, A Average Bear.
Oh, okay, good. Sweet. Whew.
Yeah, he knew I was gonna yell at him.
as soon as you said yell at somebody in Discord,
Yeah.
he was like, he means me.
So yeah, JB, is the stream running normal for you now? Is everything good? Delay.
Delay
The
song.
delay's not that bad.
Delay
Actually.
song.
Not in comparison to when we first started. Oh, he was playing
Okay,
a game.
Yeah,
Alright,
okay,
awesome.
that's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Fantastico.
I am
That's,
Multitasking.
fan. Okay, let's bring up the Zoom call again so I can see things. Yeah. Wow, that was certainly something.
No idea where it came from, but there we go.
Lost its freaking mind.
We were talking about stuff, taking horses.
Taking
to
horses. That's right. Yeah. So yes, they'll keep Ginger. You guys can get your stuff back. And then you're saying that you're gonna have some travel time, so leave when you're ready. That's basically the gist of it.
I immediately put on my armor because I've missed it.
Yes, you may now re-equip yourselves.
Yeah.
Checking over the Falcata Magna.
Lamia will give a slight pat to Samuel's shoulder and say, I'm sorry.
She'll be fine.
I reconceal my spring blade on my person in my outfit, and then get my crossbow ready to fire, just in case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that doesn't look like any of it has been damaged. You can definitely, if it's stuff you've used long enough, you can tell other people have handled it and messed with it a little bit and then put it back.
My crowbar's got all these smudges on it. How dare you?
Punch my crowbars.
None of it's broken, so probably they didn't let the kids handle it too long.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get your shit.
Cool.
Can
This one's
Samuel ride with Eli?
what we got.
Yeah, you basically just shooting two person to a horse.
Yeah,
Okay.
Now.
Yeah.
'Cause you got-
generally very much. You're small. You can hop on. You'll probably just be at medium load. It's not bad.
It's
I'm
probably
small.
better for. It's honestly probably better for Sam to ride with Lamia since she has a heavy horse. It's quite a
Mhm.
bit
Yeah.
stronger, and Hattie definitely weighs less than Sam
Yeah, that's
Oh,
also
okay.
probably true.
All right.
because she's not wearing armor or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's go. I'm ready to leave.
Cool.
Yes.
So you guys head back to the other place. Map. Oh, first. Look at that. We've moved on the stream.
Oh, goodness.
Just because I'm doing the Harley voice doesn't mean you need to hatch over there. Crazy dog.
Dog can hatch.
Threw off all his blankets.
Is he Darth Harley?
Oh, silly puppy.
Is he pulling off the Darth Harley? He scared me today on the couch. And by scared me, I just mean he startled me. I sat down and turned on the TV, and then Harley moved, and I was like, oh, Jesus, because I didn't know he was there. And I was like, he just like
It's
started Darth Harley and right out of the blankets. And I was like, oh, hey, buddy.
Okay, you got it. Good job.
Yeah, I knew it was gray because that's what it actually looks like when we're on the other screen. But on the other screen, that gray is chroma keyed out so that it's invisible. So when we roll dice on it, you can see the dice over the rest of the screen. Yeah, that's what that gray is for.
Mm-hmm.
And zoom.
Now that we have horses, it shouldn't take us as long as it did the first time to get there. So there's that bright side.
Okay, I need this to stop getting in the way. All right.
Coming out of my cage.
So, yeah, I should get that onto stream screen.
I gotta be down because I want it all.
There we go.
Started out with a kiss. How did it end up like this?
Can you stop, please?
I can't. I've tried. I just can't look. It's killing me.
God!
There you go.
Why?
Oh, I was waiting.
I'm Mr. Brightside.
I didn't say where.
Oh my gosh.
A very different question. Try to spread this narrative like I don't know what that song is. Anyway,
It's a killer.
all right. Where is it? Where is it?
Save
Goodbye to
us.
our screens being in order.
Save us, GM.
I did. Yeah, that's right,
Thanks.
everyone. Panda
Thanks,
is in
average bear.
timeout.
I'm in timeout too.
Oh my gosh.
No, you're not.
I'm still here. It's fine.
You didn't get pushed into the waiting room like Panda
Oh,
did.
yeah.
I mean, I'm off the screen.
Yeah, but you can be heard on stream. It's just because
okay.
since I kicked Panda out, you got shifted over, so you look weird now. I can hear him
Panda
giggling.
says he
I
can
can
kick
hear
me.
him giggling.
Panda says you can kick him from Zoom, but he's still there.
Oh Lord.
I can hear you
mean,
giggling in your room, Panda.
It would have been even funnier if he just came down the hallway to just mess with you. Like, yeah, scratch at the door. Like,
They're taking control!
oh my God.
All right, hold on. I gotta get my weapons. I'll be right back, everybody.
Oh Lord.
But,
Don't make me have to get up. I'm not kidding. I don't want to get up to go get
So
in
you
this.
guys approach.
Uh,
You approach the meeting place again.
Yay!
As you get closer, I'm assuming Sam is leading since he's Mr. Ranger Pants.
Yes, Ranger Pants. Ranger Pants.
Need a
Whatever
perception
Ranger-
check from you.
Range pants.
No modifiers, just flat perception.
I'm not in a forest.
No.
Okay.
Good job of asking, though.
Why is my thing? Hold on one sec. My character screen's being weird. So I'm gonna close it and reopen it. Like it wouldn't scroll all the way down.
Oh,
To-
that's weird.
Perception for some reason, yeah. Like it was getting as far as knowledge and then stopped. So. Okay, perception. Pretty good.
27. That's pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're approaching, you notice that you see several figures moving around the area already. Hold on. Where's the...
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, you see several figures, already kind of moving around over there. You could tell some of them they're all wearing, waxed cloaks and such for the rain, which the rain is pretty light at the moment. But you can see them, they're carrying bows. You can see 27. You count about 12.
Okay.
One of them seems to stand out a little from the others. You see they're carrying a crossbow, and they seem to be kind of just gesturing around, and people seem to be listening to them. But that is what's up ahead. You got... I would even put it in just like a measure of feet right now. You're far away. Let's say that. Maybe if we were to say... Jeez. Let's say like maybe like 300 yards. Say 300 yards. You got some distance.
I cast Mage Armor.
Wow.
Look, I just want to be prepared.
Hey, how do you know he tells you guys? He might
Yeah,
just lead you right into it.
No, I mean, if we're getting close, if I know we're getting close at all, I'm casting Mage Armor. Because it lasts
Fair
3 hours.
Yeah.
It's
So-
a non-baker's
I mean,
dozen.
I would argue against that because we wouldn't know about. We thought the meeting is at nighttime. So.
Doesn't matter. If we're within 3 hours of when I think we're going to meet them, I'm going to cast Mage Armor. Or where we might run into them.
And they're located where the meeting spot should be, correct?
So,
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah,
like
these
in
are-
it. They're like between
Okay.
the trees. Yeah.
Yeah, and then yes, I would recite all that information back.
Hey, you recovered.
I'm
Okay.
also going to cast Penumbra so that I can be in shadow. But
The top of a
that
fella
lasts
over
30
there
minutes.
that has a crossbow.
You guys continue to approach, or do you pull to a stop? By the way.
I think we just keep going.
Okay, follow the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You just say, "Hey, there's a feller with a crossbow," and keep going. All right.
Yeah, and I told him about the other individuals, but
Yeah.
I said there's a
If
non-baker's dozen.
If that's all the conversation that happens on it.
A non-baker's dozen.
You know,
Uh,
a normal man of dozens.
Crossing about 100 yards of the trip over there, and you can tell that they have spotted you now. You can see several of them kind of like fanning out to look. The one with the crossbow sort of stands behind the others. And you can see him kind of motioning. When you kind of glance back to just see if you can see the people who are with you, you can't. You know they're hanging pretty far back, about as about 300-yard distance, and then occasionally they kind of moved up a little bit to like confirm some things, and they drift back again. So they're keeping their distance pretty good. Yeah, you can tell that they've spotted you now. You cross another 100 yards, about 300 feet away now. About 4 of the people with bows start to approach. You can see that there are some horses that are kind of over by the trees and such. You see just like a small group of them. Look like it's almost enough to get all of, like, for all of them to have their own horse, but not quite. Close enough that you count 8. And once you finally, basically they kind of meet you halfway as you continue to approach. So that, basically on the 50-yard line. And they stay about 15 feet from you. And by that point, you can tell that like they've got arrows knocked. They aren't pointing the bows at you per se, but they look like they are ready to shoot. But the one kind of in the lead, not the guy with the crossbow, he's still hanging way back. Sort of just speaks kind of casually. He just says, "All right, are you the people that Ivana was meant to meet?"
Oh, that's us.
Don't look like much.
I mean, there's only 4 of us.
The savages out there are okay with you?
When they let us go,
That's just a little suspicious is all.
we did what we were asked to do. We gave them the information. We tried to befriend them just like she told us so that they could give us what we needed to bring to you.
Of course, yeah. What did you find out?
Well, so we found that they travel with the wind specifically. In times of peace, they travel with it. In times of war, against it, and that they can control that wind, and they're going to be moving it soon. So when you guys hear the like howling of the wind, that's the signal that they're going to be attacking soon. And then they are temporarily separated from a lot of scouting parties up north, I think they said. They kind of said that where they were trying to have us kind of not hear it, but they're not full force right now. You know, they've got more people up north coming still. And we learned from them that they can control the mist and fog as well, so they don't even need to be in the woods to get their, you know, really good version of the surprise hit and run tactics they were using. They can use the mist and the fog even out in the open to do that kind of stuff.
It's interesting. Some of it more than others. Okay. Well, why don't you go rest at the meeting spot over between the trees for now? I'll talk to someone and maybe we have some more words.
Sure. I just kind of motion everybody. Let's go.
They just kind of watch you as you like pass and go over between the trees. As you're moving past, they kind of start to walk to flank you, and you kind of end up going across like the main group of them there. You can see that they're all the ones over there are mostly Vishkanya. The one with the crossbow, he seems a little thinner. Like the others seem like they're, you know, kind of stockier, or they're a little bit more muscular, and says like they're warriors, like they've been out training and that kind of stuff a lot. He seems a little more lithe, a little bit taller, different features. He just looks a little different. And you notice the main thing you notice about him is while all of these people seem to be Setsi. They're all, from Tsetsegia. So the Rishkanya colors they match that. They seem to be like kind of the stark contrasting. You see some black, some white, like dark browns, like those like heavy contrast colors. He stands out. His scales are a kind of golden color, and he has like golden colored scales, and then like dark green, which is not common here at all.
Would I, being raised by a Tertian, kind of know that this guy might possibly be Tertian?
Probably.
Okay. I'm gonna shout out to an in Tertian. I'm gonna be like, just simple like, hey mate, what are you doing with this lot? Like, because he doesn't look like he fits in.
You say that, and he starts a little bit like there's that. Wait, what the hell did you speak? That's what language is that, and why do I understand it? Kind of like shocked face for a moment, and then he smiles, and it looks like he's going to respond, and then he just says, "I'll be with you in a minute."
What'd you say?
I just asked him what he was doing here.
No.
Wait, that's what
like
you said? I thought you offered him some fruit.
No. You really need to work on your Tertian.
I told you, I think that book I got was a scam.
I think it was too.
Seems super distraught.
At least it was close enough to get an idea of a sentence versus us, which she points at Samuel, having no idea what it was.
I got the really wrong sentence.
They sound like, I saw you all sorry. That's all it sounded like to me.
It's a lot of
I'm gonna pretend that wasn't incredibly insulting, and we're just gonna keep moving on.
Really, a lot of rolled R's and like really long vowels, and then the really short vowels. I think sometimes there are no vowels.
All consonants.
Isn't there a word that's just like a really long S sound? There's not.
I'm just not even responding.
S.
By the way, there's not. That book is definitely a scam.
Just not even responding anymore.
But so you guys head over there and you see them talk for a little bit longer, and then their contingent finally moves over to kind of hang on like the edges of that meeting ground. And you see the Tertian Vishkanya steps out a little in front of the others and says, "Well, I understand this is likely not what you expected. You wanted someone slightly less beautiful than myself."
Sorry, I don't laugh in character.
Okay.
I managed to keep a straight face in character.
Your feet are entirely too large.
Oh my god, Panda!
Keep saying that. I'm taking it as an in-character comment.
Oh my gosh.
But he says, Ivana will still make your meeting later tonight. But for now, I thought, as the primary information gatherer, I should make your acquaintance as well. I was hoping you would turn up a bit early. You seem the punctual type.
Yeah,
Also,
was always taught to be places on time.
In light of your politeness, to be polite myself, I am Varmuri. Not Valmuri. It's an R.
Okay, changing
Very
that.
easy mistake, made very often. Please correct in your minds. And he says that you see him kind of look back at one of the other bandits who is just like staring straight ahead. Like at attention, just nope.
Yeah.
Barmurray.
So, I understand.
Bill.
Tertian names don't really roll off the Ulu's tongue very well, so it's easy for them to get that kind of stuff mixed up.
They prefer to drag their R. But
I ain't got an accent.
certainly not. Your Ulu is flawless. I was filled in on the brief details you gave of the information you received. That is very good to know. We are to know of the howling of the wind that these people will attack us. Am I to surmise this means that they are planning an attack soon?
That's what I've gathered just from their movements in camp and what they were. They didn't expressly tell us that, but they certainly seemed geared up to attack.
But you said their forces are split at the moment.
Right.
Interesting.
That's what we overheard.
That is an unusually foolish move for them. See, there's something I've learned about the Storm Wardens that I don't think a lot of people know. They're quite intelligent.
Oh, we definitely saw that in our encounter with them. They're quite skilled ambush hunters, and that you got to be pretty intelligent to pull that off. So,
I mean, really, honestly, there is much more cunning in their approach to things than I think people understand. Even the rumors about them being these huge, hulking creatures, it gives this air that they are not too bright, that they are monstrous, that they are strong. I would put I'd put quite a bit of silver on the fact that most of us here physically stronger than most of them.
I was definitely disabused of my previous notions of them when we ran into them. Everything I'd heard about them was mostly untrue, except for the fact that they're blue.
Right. Some superficial details are true, but they're kind of small in stature. I believe these rumors are part of their weaponry. It is this keen minds is the better way they fight. They fight smart. The ambushes. They attack in places where there are weaknesses. They attack when they are at their strongest. There are some draconian type beliefs among them about what honor is and that type of thing, but nothing too foolhardy. Nothing that speaks too much of vainglory. Which is why I am a little perplexed that they would have split their forces before a big attack.
It does seem odd. What we heard is that they had folks scouting up in the northern areas. And I don't know if they were scouting for another approach or to split so that they could attack from two angles at once, but I'm just going off what we heard in camp.
I think that's the meatiest part of the lie. Go ahead and roll bluff.
Sure.
During that, Patrick, I want to watch the soldiers and see if any of them are
so close to being a 20.
It really was. It lingered.
If any of them look like they know they're not supposed to be there or something like that, have any nervous tics or something,
Okay. Go ahead and roll this would be sense motive.
Yep. Yeah. We're rolling good tonight, guys.
They all seem fine.
Yeah.
I'm rolling pretty normal.
And Eli, are you speaking in Ulu so that everybody understands?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what we're doing. Because he was speaking to me in Ulu, I'm assuming, because he just started talking. So, yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure. Cool. So you say that, and he just nods. Says, yes. Okay. They are looking for something that much is true. It's pretty obvious. I have a feeling what it is. Well, if they are split and they are planning to attack, reason stands that there should be a regroup soon. Likely to consolidate forces before a big swing. So we have until then to prepare or to strike. I see. Okay, a question for you. Ivana, did she promise you anything? reward or safety?
Well, I mean, yeah, safety was one of the things. I don't think it was explicitly safety, but that we would be able to work with and for you all to make sure that we got out of this in one piece and hopefully got at least paid for our troubles.
I see.
We're definitely not trying to fight all of the Storm Wardens, and we're definitely not trying to fight all of you either. There's only 4 of us, as you can see.
Be a
We're not here
strange
to,
thing to put your hopes on.
right, we're not here to, try and fight everybody, get out. So,
Yeah. I see. All right. I think that is all I needed to know. But now I have different curiosities, my friend. You speak Tertian.
I do.
You do not have an accent in Tertian.
I'm not from there originally. I was raised by a tertiary monk.
You grew up with the
Never actually
English.
even been to the Alcyon Caliphate, so unfortunately that was something I had not even gotten to do in my youth.
Unfortunate in some degrees. First,
Would have liked to attend school there. That would have been nice.
that is the big one. Yeah. It is something very different from anything you will find here. Well, you have a meeting to wait for. Do you mind if my men and I wait with you for a while?
I mean, I don't see why not.
We can have tea, maybe have a decently civil moment in this sort of rather hostile place, yeah?
Sure thing.
Excellent. All right. Hey, get the good tea. I want the good tea today. One of the others kind of nods and they kind of go get some packs and stuff off of their horses and such. And he kind of motions to you to follow him for a second, Eli.
Yep.
I won't keep him long. Just you won't understand what we're saying.
Oh,
He just kind of is like kind of walking sort of around the horses, kind of away from the group. Hattie looks sort of nervous, but looks at the other 2 of you, and you don't do anything. She just kind of chills.
Well, sorry. Lamia will switch her focus on the soldiers to just focus on like their area, make sure nothing seems shady.
I'm gonna keep a lookout outside, like see if anybody else approaches the camp.
Okay. So he walks you around like most of the group of of his men, so that they are between you and your party. And I'm giving pauses just in case you guys want to freak out. I gotta give you chances to make mistakes, right?
Totally true. Totally true.
Dave looks completely calm. And, as you get to as you're kind of walking, he's just chatting to you in Tertian, and he says, he's like, yeah, you will enjoy this tea. It's very good. Some of the favorite I've had. It's from home. I brought some of the plants and such with me, and I've been cultivating them. It's very difficult with all the rain to keep it at the right temperature. I've worked really hard on it, and these people don't appreciate it, of course. And then he gets, as soon as you get to the kind of the opposite side where it's just his men and you, he says, anyway, the tea is coming, but I expected you to be a much better liar. We'll stop here. And he stops walking.
well, I expected you to be a much dumber soldier, not yourself.
He chuckles. See, in this case, you should judge a book by its cover. I'm as keen as I look. And that is quite. But this is a very dangerous game, friend. I can't help but admit how curious I am that you decide to lie to us here while you are in such a suspicious position. What do they have on you?
This isn't our whole party. They may have some of us hostage. I just told, most of the truth. I've really told pretty much all of what they told me. So
Right.
I don't really know about the scouting parties or about the splits. I just know what I was told to say I heard.
Of course.
Right? Yeah.
That's about what I expected. Now see, if it was Ivana who caught you in this lie, this wouldn't even be a conversation. I mean, the woman's rather barbaric. Let's just call a spade a spade. Much respect to her, but she likes to shoot first and ask no questions.
I didn't notice that.
You may be... He doesn't have whatever this is. I fidget. Leave me alone, I have ADHD. So, you may be sensing the beginnings of some kind of offer, and you'd be correct. I'm trying to suss out exactly the leverage they hold over you. You said some party members. I think you'd be served better by playing the winning side. That being ours. We could very easily free whoever it is that you have imprisoned. You've seen their camp. You know they're intelligent, but they don't have resources. They don't have manpower. If they told you some lie about their people up in the north, it's because most of them are fleeing because they're not idiots. Look, I don't know how many of these situations you've seen before, but I've seen plenty. Lots of them. Many people make the wrong choice here. They choose to fight us. And there's a reason we're here and they're not. So, with that being said, here's my offer. Why don't you and your group just come back with us? You will be obviously under very heavy guard. Not many chances to wiggle free and run back to your, precious blue folk and tell them of our whereabouts. But you will be significantly safer. And if you want to have these negotiations that you've been supposedly tasked with, you'd be in prime position to have them. I think that sounds like a offer you can't refuse.
I mean,
You come into my camp, and you.
Obviously, you guys have noticed they stopped on the opposite side of here and haven't moved from the furthest point from where they can. But
a bit over a barrel here, I will admit. So we're a bit outnumbered, and you've got more people coming. We certainly like to get out of this in one piece. So I mean, of course, you seem quite amenable.
Well, make no mistake, I don't plan on executing you here or anything like that. I don't want to ruffle feathers. Ivana was pretty keen on making sure I didn't interfere in her plans, but I was permitted to at least have this discussion. Feel free to refuse it, it's just a foolish move. I want to make certain this is your choice. That you are willingly making the correct choice, not that you feel forced to. Slavery is their thing.
Well, I can't speak unilaterally for my group, of course.
Of course.
Your offer seems reasonable, and that's the least I can say at this point.
So you need to talk it over.
Have to.
Ah, fair enough. Well, unless one specific member of my party is incredibly incompetent, that tea should be steeping by now. And he looks over, and you can see that there is a steaming pot being prepared over a small fire. And he just kind of gives like a thumbs up. Good. Brighter than he looks. Why don't we all have this conversation together then? We can have it in Ulis.
Sounds like a plan.
That is, of course, if your friends can understand my accent. He switches back to Ulis seamlessly.
I think they'll manage.
Good. All right. Yeah, let's go then. Do you think they will appreciate this tea, or should I give them something like just regular, like low-grade stuff?
I mean, I can't say if they'll appreciate it as much as you and I will, but I think they like it all the same. They seem to appreciate some of the finer things.
They make their way back around. And yeah, he takes a seat by one of the trees. A few of the other bandits kind of sit behind him. Pulls the little tea set over. Says, "Okay, we have had our conversation in the mother's tongue. You may join us. Sorry about that. I know that's rude, but I don't meet many people who speak with no accent or who speak fluently at all. Please, join us. It's tea."
Lamia will look over at Eli with the questioning, like, yeah, sit down look.
Kind of just gesture, like, what else are we gonna do? Like,
All right, yeah, she'll
It's
sit
been
down.
a while since I've had tea. You can sit down.
It's very strong, kind of herbal smelling. There's like an earthiness to it. It's just like coming out of the pot. We let it steep a bit longer, but yes, we were having a very interesting conversation. If you'd like to tell them in your words, maybe they will listen better than to me. Rapport has its benefits after all.
is your pitch though. So, anyways, he wants us to go with him, basically. I don't know, mate. Yeah,
He's pouring the tea.
yeah. I was like, you. I was going, then I'll buy it. Like, so the pretty much just want us to go with them and give them that information and assist them. They're going to obviously keep us under close watch, and his pitch essentially is that he's going to help us get the collateral that is left behind at the camp and make sure everybody makes it out okay. And I'm kind of giving them that look of like, do I believe this? Not really, kind of like whatever. Like, it just seems too good to be true.
Right.
Is the video blurry on for anybody else on the stream?
No.
Okay,
No, it looks
just me
fine.
again. That
just
is
your-
fine.
Yeah, your quality just dropped. It's all probably for your connection.
Yeah, that's fine. Just making sure.
So he shares that. The man, Varmuri, nods. Says, that's the basic long and short of it. You have no air for showmanship, though. I would not take you for such a person. What sort of Tarshian raised you?
A very no-nonsense one.
I know the type.
Grumpy old crank.
Religious?
Well, I wouldn't say he was overly religious, but he was certainly serious in his observances. We'll put it that way.
You know what? I think I just placed some of that accent. Regardless. Yes, I believe that you are all better off siding with us. I can't imagine you have much reason to argue with that, other than whatever they are holding the rest of your party at your camp. You must understand we have the superior force here. You must understand that their attack is going to fail. And that if they drag you with them, you will die. One of you, points at you, Sam, has already felt what it is like to have an arrow in a very bad place. There will be a lot more where that came from, and my men may be better shots as well. It would be foolish to stay with them. So who all do they have? How many people do you need freed?
Well, they have his shores.
Ah,
And, traveling companion. And then, got a couple others with us.
go ahead, roll bluff again.
Yeah.
Please do better this time, sir.
Oh,
Well,
you think
well,
I just
way to
want to
jinx
roll
it.
twos?
Way to jinx it.
There we go.
Wow.
That is much better, though.
It's like you can't really lie to the bandits when you need to.
So a Shorse and a couple of others. Friends, loved ones, lovers.
I mean, employees. I don't know if you know this. I'm a businessman. These guys work for me, with me. So, we all work together. We're co-workers.
I see.
Think of it like a terrible company picnic.
Lamia is nodding to this.
I will join in.
So these must be two very valuable employees to you, because otherwise, cutting ties might just be saving you money.
I mean, all my employees are very valuable to me. You don't know how hard it is to get good help or retain help at all.
Mm. So 3 people. That's it. You need 3 people out.
Yep.
Okay. That shouldn't be too difficult, really. If they seriously plan to attack us, the best thing to do is let them fail. You don't want to be a part of it, though. I think you take our offer, you stay in our walls, make your negotiations. You can talk to Bardat himself about the sword. And if it helps, he's not so stubborn a man that he cannot be reasoned with. You make a good offer. Yeah, you could get it. You want to know a very poorly kept secret? Bardat doesn't use this sword. It is not some relic that he needs to slay dragons and kill demons and contest with the Djinn of the different planes. He keeps this sword because of a grudge. You know what he said to the last people who tried to bargain with it for him, or to him? He said, "Fuck Tanikt and his sword." And he threw it across the room. Then he shot that person because they were being insulting. But still, he doesn't care about having it. He cares about making Tanik want it. Give him something better than his grudge, and you get the sword. Give him something Tanik wants more, or you definitely get the sword. See, I am already helpful. Probably more helpful than the Storm Wardens have been.
More helpful about the sword, that's for sure.
Yes.
So, what do you all think? You cut ties with them, you come with us? Trust us to get your people out?
And just ignore our prior deal with I'm blanking on her name.
Ivana?
Ivana, thank you.
You can still
I think
meet
this-
with her. She's on my side. I am on her
Right.
side.
I think this just amends our deal with Ivana.
Bit, yes.
On
think-
that,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry. On that, Lamia wants to studied those words. Like, is that really true?
Okay, roll sense motive.
What? That's what I was going to say.
Damn
So,
it!
Hey, it's the same thing you rolled before.
Yeah, it is. It's totally true. Got it.
I mean, you think he's probably telling the truth, but you can't read him.
Yeah.
So I turned to the crew, I'm like, so I think what we do, regardless of what our choice is here, we do at least wait for Ivana to make sure this is all good with her. Like you said, she's very much a shoot first, don't ask questions person, and I don't want to get on her bad side. And I understand that you're, here working with us, and that's totally fine. But her bringing us in was a big part of our safety being assured, and I don't want to cross that line with her to where our safety is no longer assured, if that makes sense.
Diplomacy.
Yeah.
Come on, Eli.
Diploma.
Yay!
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, roll the 10, so not bad.
Oh, geez, that's your average? That's pretty.
Yeah,
pretty solid.
that's what I'm saying. I rolled a 10, so that's not bad.
This is. I suppose it can't be helped then. Alright, that's fine. We can do that. Full disclosure, I really don't want to wait here all day, so. We will have our tea, we'll take our leave for a bit, and then you will meet with Ivana. Just, be careful. We may have our cordial ways, but, she has a short fuse, that one. Very short. Have
We
you seen
noticed
her
that.
father lately?
Yeah, we spoke with him prior to coming out here.
Did you?
Yeah, he wanted us to give her a message.
Sappy stuff, of course, I'm sure. He's a good man.
But, yeah, normal father-daughter kind of stuff.
He's a good man. Which is unfortunate. Because it would be nice to have someone to play silvers with out here. Or to talk to, he just seems like a nice guy. Another question, though. What happened with Draza?
Well, that's one of the things we came out here to find out.
I mean, what happened in Saikan?
Right, with the guy pretending to be Draza.
Yes.
We went to his store to ask her around and ask some questions, and he kind of tried to take our head off. Well, Sam's.
Looks at you,
I
Sam.
agree.
Yeah.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Look at you, Sam. He's giving you a very penetrating gaze.
Well,
That is what happened.
confronted him about who he was, and he promptly took my sword from me and tried to take my life from me.
I see. You exposed him. Okay.
Well, I like being truthful.
Speaks better to his character that he didn't simply swing at you. Okay.
Well, it is a large sword.
There. It is. Okay. Well, that is unfortunate. It was one of my operations you spoiled. Oh well. Can't win them all. Anyhow, the tea. Tell me what you think. And there, we are going to take a break. We didn't take a break yet.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
I need to pee.
Yeah,
Coffee.
as you usually normally do.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can
Coffee,
take
coffee,
our-
coffee.
I've
5
had a
minute-
lot of tea so far, so
in real life.
yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna take a 5-minute break here, real quick, folks, and we will be back very, very soon.
So
And
back
screen
at
switch.
10. Hi guys, we're back, but not quite 100% back. Someone's got to apply medicine, unfortunately.
What do you think the
Is
most superior
amazing.
cereal bar is?
The
I like the Golden
cinnamon-
Grams one.
No, it's the Cinnamon Toast Crunch milk ones that I can only find at 7-Eleven and can never find anywhere else for some reason. God, I love those. They have the real milk, they're Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and it's just like literally a cereal bar. That's my favorite. It's not too sweet. It's not crazy like sugary. It's basically just like eating cereal and condensed milk.
It's not the one that has the chocolate chunks in it, or is that
No, it's
the one that
just-
has chocolate chunks in it? Is basically like a s'more. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm pretty. Isn't that the Golden Grams one?
It might be.
Because I think that's one of the reasons I like it, because it has a little bit of chocolate in it. So what was it you were gonna say you guys are gonna watch tomorrow?
Oh, Andor for
What is
Star
that?
Wars. It's the new Star Wars show.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, that explains why I know next to nothing of it.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, obscure version. It's the one that people got super mad because one guy just appears to be using an AK-47 with something on the front of it.
Oh,
And it's a blaster. I'm like, guys, the original guns are just Sterling submachine gun. Like literally, they're just Sterling submachine guns. They weren't even like doctored up really. Like they put like little pieces of fins on them or something like that.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars guns have always been guns. Like basically, there's very few guns in Star Wars universe that are not
guns.
that are not based off an actual fight or a thing like that.
Also, on the cereal bar question thing, are you talking about like actual cereal bars or like the snack bars? Because
I put those in the
things.
same.
I think
put
he
them in
just
the same
means
category.
bars made out
Yeah.
of cereal.
Yeah.
Some
Okay.
cereal brand.
So
that's what I assumed.
100% the ones branded as cereal bars are just like head and shoulders better than the snack ones.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The
Those
ones
are my
that are like
favorite
snack
ones.
branded, the only ones I liked are the I think the Golden Grams one because they're basically s'mores and that can get away with being super sweet.
Mm.
But that to me, that's a mark against them because it should be the Reese's Puffs one. There's no real reason it shouldn't be that, except that they're just a mediocre product. So,
Right.
That makes sense.
I still think about that Chinese
yeah.
place that made the
Oh my God, they still do. It's the place on Northwest Expressway. It's Hunan Garden, man.
You want to
Yeah.
explain what you're
Freaking-
talking about?
They're Rice Krispie treats, but they use Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries, and they're
Yeah.
so good. And they put them on the buffet dessert line, which means I just grab a full plate of them. Oh yeah, Rice Krispie treats are like my weakness.
Legend
and then-
has it that Dave is still 60% Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah, that's my favorite like sweet thing. I love Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah, that's why we can't leave them in the rain too long.
The fact that we have some in this house and I haven't eaten them just shows you how much I love my child. Because they're hers and they go in her lunches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
haven't
she's
touched them
missing
either
one.
'cause
I ate one.
I figured they were hers. Every time I look at them, I'm like, no.
Yeah. No,
There's
I
enough other dumb,
want to
sweet
eat
shit
them
in this house.
also. Yeah.
All right, so we
Yeah,
have
we
done
have
the
the Golden
filler.
Graham bars at home.
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah, fill it.
Those are up there in the thing. Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
Hi,
had one.
folks. Oh, nice. Yeah, they're good. What screen were we on?
I would hope
Oh.
it was the.
I think we're on the
Right.
one with the map.
Yeah, I think we're just on that.
All right, I'm gonna mute us here so I don't forget to later, and then I'll move us.
The battle music.
You bastard.
Oh
Oh,
God.
this screen. That's the right screen. Yeah. Okay. Yes. For those of you who missed it, Panda had to ask me yet again if battle music was on. It's not. It's ominous music. So
Ominous music.
Which suits our situation currently.
Is that what
think
the
it's just
monks
been on-
sing during prayer? You know, the
Oh my
Panda,
gosh,
we
that was a
just
good
got
one.
back.
That was a good one.
I'm gonna boot both of you.
I like that one though.
I don't understand.
Because
Don't.
and monks and he's making a bad
Ominous.
joke. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still not getting it, but that's okay.
Okay. Well, is that part of that new
Can I
electronic
just
music?
throw
Like
you
ominous
out,
music?
Panda? Stop. No, because I'm going to explain the joke, and then we're going to waste even more time. So just keep going.
Yeah.
So
Forge ahead.
you guys are
Dead.
have tea. It's really good tea. Don't tempt me.
Rock's
I
fall,
can
everybody dies.
come with a new campaign in my sleeve. Don't tempt me.
Yeah.
So
We have
yeah,
tea.
you have tea. It's good. It's very good tea. Darjeeling. Is probably the closest equivalent.
Oh, okay.
If you've never had Darjeeling tea, then oh well, culture yourself. There's definitely some there's definitely a little bit of like cinnamon in it and something that tastes kind of nutty, like almost like almonds. So
Is it poison?
I was gonna say, is that like cyanide?
he's drinking it. He's drinking it, but I mean, also
You may have a
he's-
Yeah,
tolerance.
but he's a
you know?
Vishkanya.
Yeah, he's resistant naturally, and also his saliva is toxic. But you
Yep.
sit there and like watch him make the tea and pour in cups.
I love your
So,
yep, by the way, just because of our other campaign. You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Watched him make the tea.
Panda harassed a woman in the other campaign.
No, in fairness to him, I scared the Jesus out of her
Yeah.
because I
Okay,
actually
fine.
teleported in front of her.
And she slashed your chest open, so I was a little
Two
heated.
men in the party harassed a woman. He fled one, the other chased her down, and she
Oh
spit in
my
his
God.
face and it blinded him.
Thanks. At least,
Anyway,
at least
no,
we're not talking about his serial throat chopping. Is what I was gonna say, but
yeah, that's
now
true.
I
If
have.
you hadn't brought up, no one else ever
I
had to know about
but
it.
I had,
Crazy,
I had
right?
to bring it up. I
It's
had
out there
to.
now. Poor Scarletto.
The funny thing is, he is literally like one of the nicest people in the party, generally speaking. But anyway,
Happened to throat punch a lot of people, and those people end up being women.
but let's
It just-
not
it
talk
keeps
about a
happening.
better,
No.
more lighthearted
God.
campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
why
play
not?
this one.
Yeah, that's right. Oh gosh.
We would spend all day just regaling our tales from each of our campaigns, so we
Easily.
should not.
But that's because this is a tabletop RPG group.
Yeah.
So you guys have some tea. He doesn't really like do a whole bunch too much more discussion at that point. You have some. He shares like a couple of like little like pieces of like bread and some other stuff with you guys. It is who's going to have roll?
There's actually some fiddlehead ferns over there that I was investigating
Lamia.
the other night.
Roll me a perception check.
Did you say me?
Yep.
Okay. Me perception?
You perception.
Okay. Yeah, I perception. Bam.
We perception.
Son of a gun! I rolled 3 nights in a row!
You don't win a prize. You just fail your check.
Don't win a
You should
prize.
stop doing that.
9.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Well,
I don't, it's fine. I don't know anything.
So yeah. Here's what you get off of a 9. You feel like you missed something.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But
Anyway, he packs up and leaves, and you guys are left alone.
Okay. Well, once he leaves, I guess can I do a perception check to make sure we are actually and factually alone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I assist in that, or
Can you make your
You-
own
you just roll
perception
your
check
own.
because you're
Yeah,
way
you'll
better
roll
than
your
me?
own.
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
I was already doing that, like keep an eye out thing, but I will. Also
Somehow Eli rolled worse.
Because I have less of a bonus.
Oh my god!
Somehow Samuel's
It's-
natural one still smoked
Better
both of
than
you.
ours. Oh, that's funny.
So you don't see
Oh,
any
yeah.
people, but you step on something crunchy, and you look down, and there's a bracelet under your foot. Like kind of, you're standing like between where Eli was sitting and where Varmuri was sitting.
Is it
Hey, it's that
the
bracelet.
same kind of bracelet as the one I have?
It is the one you have.
Oh, okay.
Is
It's
this the same
exact
bracelet?
one I have.
Oh, it slipped out?
Who the fuck was that? Who asked that question?
What?
I didn't hear an accent.
No,
Yeah.
I was asking you, the DM, if it was the same bracelet.
I was talking about
Or a
Sam.
different bracelet. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because yes, it is the same bracelet.
Can't cough.
My bracelet now.
Anyways, I will check my pockets immediately and be surprised that it is not in my pockets.
Yep. About halfway between you and where Varmuri was sitting.
So,
Well, that's concerning.
actually, I didn't ask because I assumed that was part of the earlier perception, but could I also make sure that we are actually alone?
That's what they were doing.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I
we've
know
rolled
that's
for
what
that.
they were doing. Oh, okay, that's fine
Yeah.
then. Okay.
You don't see
okay.
any other people. You know the other storm wardens are somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what the hell are we doing now?
So I
We're
lean in
not
very
panicking.
conspiratorially and quiet. That's a great advice to take into every situation in your life. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to take them up on their offer. We're going to hopefully get brought to the camp. The storm wardens who are following us will then figure out where the secret entrance is, because that's the way they're going to take us. Then they will be able to know, report back. We'll be on the inside waiting for the storm wardens to attack. Okay? I think that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to play along like we want to be friends with these people so they don't fucking kill us. Oh, excuse me. I don't curse. So they don't kill us. And
I guess the first time you slipped on that.
it is the first
Mhm.
time I said that.
Insight
Because-
check. Does he really curse?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't curse because I really don't
Or
curse.
sense mode.
ever. My character doesn't curse. So that's what we're going to have to do to get through this one. Okay. Talk with Bardad if we need to. Bargain about the sword if we need to. But when the storm wardens attack, we need to try and grab that sword. Maybe murder that fellow who just talked to us and get out of there.
Yeah, I
They
was
did
gonna
ask us if
about
we
that.
could kill him or not. I mean, look, I'm not convinced that he's the worst bloke I've ever seen, but that doesn't mean we got to kill him. That doesn't mean we don't have to. And if the opportunity doesn't just immediately present himself, I'm not going out of my way to just murder somebody. But I'm also not going to
Right.
stop either of you if you feel like that's the call we need to make.
Right.
He's a slippery one, I'll tell you that. You can tell right now. And he's
I mean,
real clever. So
I'll do just about anything to get my shorts back. So
look, I gave him the wrong count on people so that if they did try and do scouting or make an attack on them, they would maybe, think that they're holding our people somewhere separate, that we could, hopefully use that information to our advantage. But ultimately, the only goal is we get Ginger out of there and we get us out of there. And hopefully we get this sword too. Bonus is Bardad's dead, of course. Extra bonus is, we're friends with these storm wardens and they are no longer raiding around the countryside. All of that would be great.
Bardat
number
is
one
a
goal
really
is-
big bonus, but yes, he's
Yeah.
bonus.
Number one goal is get us out of here, all in one piece.
Like 15,000 gold bonus.
I mean, that's a really nice bonus, but I'm more just interested in making sure we all get out in one piece. That's not worth any amount of money.
This is true. Yeah. Plus, I think he should be worth more, honestly. He has like an army. Kind of.
Well, if he's worth 15,000, I think we'd probably get a bonus per person on the, bandits as well. But that's my issue that could be dealt with later because it's not important. Because right now, what's important is just getting through this. So when she
Yes.
comes, we try and be as straight up with Ivana as possible. We keep our information the same, and we make the deal.
Right.
Okay? Just so you guys know, we're not capital not, turning on the Storm Wardens here. But we are going to have to say we are. Right?
All right.
Okay. Just want to make that very clear. I'm not stabbing anyone in the back. This is what we came here to do. So I need you guys to work with me on this. And we got it. You got to just trust in the process and we'll get through it.
Are you playing with something squeaky?
Yeah.
Can you go back to your card?
I will just move it under the table.
Okay,
And
that's
you won't
fine.
be able to hear it. Because I've been playing with the same thing the whole time.
Okay, as long as I can't hear it, because that actually kind of hurts.
It's a little high pitch.
Yeah, Molly has weird audio sensitivities.
Sorry. Right. You're right, Eli. Okay. Just follow your lead. And does this kind of stuff happen to you often? Is this why?
Yeah, this is normal. It's fine.
It's kind of normal, kind of.
It's normal enough.
All right. Okay. Huh.
I think
Plus,
it's fair. Go ahead.
if we do take the sword, surely he has other things, maybe a value we could take as well. I mean, not too keen on stealing, but I mean,
look, I'm just interested in getting us in and out. That's what matters. I'm just trying to get us out. I'm not worried about value. I'm not worried about whatever. The sword is obviously our goal. Even if we can't get that, the important part is we all get out in one piece, okay? Money's
Well, we're
not
gonna
the point here.
If
We're
get
gonna
that,
ask
we
for
can try
more.
again.
Because surviving is the point. Because we can't get paid if we're dead, okay?
Mhm.
this sword is definitely cost more than what this initially thought. So
No, 3,000 gold's a lot of gold. But
It really is.
surviving is the important part, right? Because we can't get paid if we're dead. So we just need to make sure we make it out in one piece. Well, 4 pieces.
3,000.
Yeah, 1,000.
It's a pretty good amount of money.
Right.
Plus, we can probably get them to pay us more depending on like who we give it to.
Yeah, we could definitely play them off each other.
Mhm.
Make a little bit more money here. But again, goal number 1, get out in one piece. That's what matters. That's what we got to do right now.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys wait for Ivana now, or do you have any other plans to discuss? Oh,
I think unless you guys got something else, I'm ready to just wait for her to show up.
Out of curiosity, do we see like any obvious tracks that we can like look at from where we are and not actually travel anywhere necessarily?
no. Not with
Okay.
those freaking god-awful perception rolls.
Right?
Yeah.
God.
What shoe sizes are they?
Son of a-
Obvious. That's downright cryptic. You can't find obvious things. No,
Okay.
Can I do
All right,
a?
I just wanted to make sure.
Can I do a quick forage for food, depending on how long we're going to be?
I mean, yeah, it's still. See, it takes you only about an hour to get from your camp to here. So it's still fairly early. It's probably not even quite noon yet. Well, no, but you guys talking and stuff, we're it's probably right around noon. So you have plenty of time. Yeah, if you want to like go around the area and stuff and try to see what else you can find.
Yep, I will do that.
Okay, go ahead and roll a survival check. It is not.
While
the
he does
forest.
that, I'm gonna stare at this bracelet some more and just like I don't
Assuming
know,
that I gave it back to you,
shake it, move it around.
you obviously can't keep it in your pocket. So,
Are you doing the foraging on the horses or not?
I'm not taking the horse.
Okay.
No. Got to get close to the ground to see the vegetation.
Bro, 2 in a row. Come on.
You found enough food
Still
for
a
you.
10.
You
Yeah.
found enough food for you, for
That's
one medium
worth-
creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst you could do is find enough food for one medium creature. Because this one, because normally I put Satsegi at about a 12, but it's not raining very much right now, so it's 10.
Yep.
So yeah, that's
Like,
funny.
get him out of the way. Get him out of the way.
Yeah, you definitely don't want them. What seems like is shaping up to happen next session.
Oh my gosh.
So okay, so you do that over the course of the next couple of hours. Eli, you were doing a thing, which I'll come back to. Lamia, were you doing anything specific while you wait?
No, because she has no ideas, because everything seemed as ship-shop shaped as it could be with what she knows. Otherwise, kind of keeping an eye out, but God knows.
Okay, well, then since you're kind of keeping an eye out and then not doing anything otherwise, Hattie asks you to, like, help her practice.
Oh, I guess may as well. It's at least a couple of hours. Okay. Yeah.
Not
We'll
really
be
enough
able to do
time
that.
to do much, but you can show her some, like, basic stance and how to hold stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's basically starting from scratch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Eli. Okay, first, yeah, give me a perception check first.
Okay. Let's go. Hey.
Nice. Okay,
I could roll above a 10.
I know.
You did.
Doesn't happen very often.
that's
You're
basically
soaking up
like
my bad rolls.
a fantastic roll for you.
It is.
Right.
So while you're kind of moving around and kind of toss it a few times, you're seeing if you can get it to react. You start to kind of notice that, like, whenever you, like, drop it or, like, kind of, like, hold it, it seems to, like, favor a certain direction. You kind of look up and you notice that it seems to be, it's the faintest pull the direction that Varmuri went. But, like, you start to kind of, like, you drop it a couple of times and it always just moves slightly that direction, regardless of what height, or if you kind of move, like, wiggle it a little bit the other direction first. It always kind of pulls that way just a little bit. Roughly around when, about an hour or so passes, it seems to stop doing that. And then about an hour later or so, Sam, you get back. So we kind of roughly
While
3
I'm
p.m.
doing the random experimenting, I'm also just arguing with my shadow because that's what I would be doing. It's an entirely one-sided conversation because it's just, is it you? Are you doing this? No, of course you're not. Do you know what's happening? You won't tell me anyways. And it's just like me talking to myself.
The shadow occasionally pantomiming a reaction.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's not
Sam?
helpful.
Comes back, I don't know, like munching on walnuts or something.
Sit down. Oh.
You find anything interesting?
No.
Uh,
Some nuts. Raw onion.
that's pretty good.
It was.
Oh well.
It's full
At least we have our
zucchini,
stuff
eating an onion
back
like
now.
it's an apple.
All the rations we bought in town are a little better anyway.
I'm just
That honey was really good.
got it from the same fellers where I got that bear gauntlets.
Oh, what was the place?
Is it named Halit? Is that the name of the
Hallett, yeah.
Halit?
Hallet.
That's why it's Hallett honey.
Yeah, the village of Halit.
Hallett.
Nice people. Gave me some supplies. I got some. Those are the rations I've been using for ginger.
Oh,
So
well, that's cool.
yeah, did a little bit of a job up there for them. They didn't have very much of the way of money or food, to be honest, because they're having a rough time up there.
That was the bear thing. The bear guy.
Yeah.
The bear tree.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, since we're waiting, tell us the story about the bear tree. You didn't, like, elaborate on anything.
All right. Do you actually want me to tell the story best of my memory, or just say I recite?
What does the other members of the party want?
I
Do
can-
you
I
hand
can
wave it,
ramble.
or do you want to hear him
remember
tell it?
of this thing that happened like a month ago? That would be pretty funny to me.
And if chat wants to chime in, they may. Do you want to hear Sam tell the story, or no? I don't know who's actually even left in chat right now that's not multitasking.
If
Yeah.
you want to, as I say, if you want to check on his rendition of the story, you can also watch Sam's intro video.
On our YouTube.
This is true.
Yeah,
It's on the
there you
YouTube
go.
channel.
See, shameless
Uh,
plug.
We can make that a series. Best that I can remember.
Yeah.
Recite things that have happened. Best
Let's
of my memory.
say you got 5 minutes. Let's go.
All right. Well, I was headed that way. I left the Bertzag family. That's who I was staying with. And I had got some information that some of the hunters up there had been moving north and were needing some help. They're apparently, the normal hunting areas they had used down south were really getting picked over hard by this other town, Kurin. So I went up there and they had some nice conversations with some of the people there. They were not super polite to start off with, but went up there and a group of their people had gone missing on an expedition, on a hunting expedition. So I went out there with a group of them to find them and either possibly recover remains or hopefully find them alive. And while we're up there, we were beset by some kind of, being of nature. You said something like they may have been a druidic person. I'm not sure what that is, but at least I don't think I know what that is.
You're a ranger. Why wouldn't you know what a druid is?
Because I grew up on a farm. But
Class doesn't tell you what other classes are.
Yeah, basically. But
I just know
one
it's
of
with
one
magic.
of those really naturey rangers.
The more magic ones.
yeah.
But,
Ranger mage.
went up there and man, this big old owl, swooped down and hit one of the hunters, where it clawed him. It just like necrotized the wound and it just made it all real god awful looking. I swung at it once, and it this bear that came out of this tree basically, and didn't do much to it. So I just kind of went on the defensive where everybody else could get out of it, and just held it off for a good period of time. But I met up with the hunters that were missing, got them all back to their village, and I took just payment and some food and supplies, and apparently they had found these these gauntlets in a cave that was super cold apparently, and they didn't really know what to do with them, but they gave me that as kind of a bonus that for helping out.
What happened to the owl?
It swooped around a bunch. I'm pretty sure they scored some good hits on it. They were all using bows, and, the projectile stuff. They didn't get me, thank goodness. But seemed to be working in conjunction with this bear person.
Yeesh, that's a lot. It's really brave that you went and fought it by yourself.
Well, the poor girl, I don't remember her name, but she got hit pretty hard and was on the ground, and I couldn't just leave her there.
Of course. That is very, I heard that, the Lancia has, knights and stuff, and they do, a chivalry thing where they're really nice to women.
I mean, if I was mean to women, I'm sure my grandpappy would pop out of the grave and beat me senseless.
Man, Delancha is cool.
Uh,
Sorry.
I mean, it's home. I like it, but
Eli, how come people in Sitsegia don't do chivalry stuff? When they're mean to me, I have to hit them.
I do that exact.
Why don't men in armor show up and go like, I don't know. Sam, what kind of stuff do knights say?
Have I met a knight before?
Probably not. You can, if you want to have, I can tell you some stuff, but it's unlikely.
No, I will say I probably have been told like bedtime stories or things like that.
Yeah, you definitely easily would have heard the equivalent
Yeah,
of
like oh, he's
Arthurian
saved
tales and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, they are just, and they save fair maidens from dragons and perilous beasts and things like that. There's a lot of vows and arts in their speech. They talk in a complicated way.
Is it like a different language? We'll just say that trails off from there.
Yeah, because not everybody from Delancha talks like me.
No.
I am Hicktown Delancha.
Some people do that.
Yeah. For reasons I don't know what the accent's supposed to be, but I'm doing the very country. It's the very country redneck thing of that.
So far, of all the people who play in Hayethe, the accents you've heard for Delanchan characters was German, hick country, and British.
Oh. Cool. Delancha's a big place.
That's insane. Yeah.
I mean, was supposed to be talking in a German accent this whole time.
You could have. It would be fitting.
Nine. I refuse.
We probably shouldn't let you do it because you might be tempted to say something funny.
Can you?
Yes, funny.
Can you find a way?
Pat probably should have said that on stream.
Hick Southerner and German at the same time, because that would just.
We know you're kidding.
Tickle me pink.
Yeah. The Hashin, they're laying eggs.
Oh my god!
I didn't hear the British part, but
that was
good.
Almost as painful as Molly trying to do literally any accent. Molly has one accent and it doesn't exist.
For those who don't know German,
no place.
Chicken in German is Hashin.
Yeah.
And I know that because I named my chocobo in Final Fantasy XIV Stern Hashin.
I know that because I named my chocobo Storm Chicken.
Yeah, Storm Chicken. But the funny thing is, that's a great name for a chocobo.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is Storm Chicken. That's what they are. I mean, come on.
Like both the German word name for it and just Storm Chicken.
Calling it Storm Chicken
are pretty good names for chocobo. Short to like Stormy or whatever. Like I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. I was
my knowledge of
child, so
German tanks and weapons.
So, but yeah. Anyway,
so
cool.
There is one thing Lamia wanted to bring up before, like, we get to potentially skipping to the meeting. He said, or actually, I forget, was the part of him saying that the Draza thing was his operation
that was an
to
Ulu.
you?
Yeah.
That was an Ulu? Okay, yeah. So, yeah. Lamia wants to bring up, so he said that the operation with Draza was his.
Well, yeah, he's the one who set up, I guess, replacing him with a fake Draza.
So could it be possible at all that he does things that they don't actually know about?
Well, it is possible, but the way he said it, it sounded like it was something he had set up to work with them. But that guy seems pretty conniving, and I wouldn't put it past him that he's trying to do things behind everyone's back.
Okay.
But I don't know. he didn't make that very clear, and that's part of what I think he was going for, is not making anything he said very clear.
Yeah, I couldn't really get a good read on him. Couldn't really get a good read on anyone, actually. It was
Just
weird.
about everything he says comes out clear as mud. And
Maybe
it's
they wrote
pretty
everything
intended
down
that
in
way.
invisible ink.
Mud still has its uses, though.
I didn't say it didn't. I'm just saying he definitely tried to make things clear as mud.
It's definitely not very
Okay.
clear.
I just wanted to bring it up a little in case that could be something that might be able to be used. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, we can at least talk to, I guess, Ivana about that, or we could ask Bardat when we get there. But, I'd like to stay on their good side as much as possible, obviously, because both of them don't seem to have the best anger management abilities.
Right,
know,
of course.
I had the thought also. It's still kind of a lot of daylight. We could probably go all the way back to the camp and come back within a couple of hours. Do you think we should, tell them, what our plan is?
I mean, we could, but I'm going to assume that they still have people watching us. And I
They
think it'd look a
might.
little suspect if we just kind of left.
This through.
I mean, I could probably run out and try and find one, and let them know what we're planning to do. That way they're not like, oh, they've joined their side.
Well, what we could do, speaking of that, is write them a quick little coded message or something, and on your next foraging trip, you leave it for them to find.
I can do that.
Maybe you could blow the whistle a little bit and see if someone comes to you. And not a lot, like a little bit. You're not very a good whistler.
I mean, I can whistle, but
I can come with you and then I can blow it a little bit.
you just want to blow the whistle.
Would they know if it's a coded message?
Well,
Man,
I mean that we just write it in a language that we assume they speak or something that these blokes wouldn't, whatever. I don't know. We just write it in a way that's plain to them but wouldn't be plain to if somebody else picked up the note.
Good.
Well, if you write the note, I'll go plan it somewhere.
Yeah, I only know my home language.
It's
Ulu.
Yeah, I feel like they probably only know Ulu and whatever language
Their
they
language,
speak.
yeah.
Which I don't happen to speak, so I don't feel like if I write this in Tertian, you'll know what I'm talking about. Just a gamble.
Probably not.
Just a gamble.
So I don't get to blow the whistle a little bit.
Not yet.
I just want to
Remember
know
the
what
whistle?
it sounds like. I wasn't
don't
going to
blame
do
you.
a full whistle, just a little tweet. So they go, what is that? And come over and go, what are you doing? And we can then tell them the plan.
The whistle means run away.
Yeah, that's what the whistle's for.
I thought that was for them to come and save us so that we could run away.
Yeah. Either way, it's about the whistle is trying to summon them in a situation where we need to escape, and that's not the situation we find ourselves in right now.
This is
Yeah.
true. Okay.
So
I do agree, though, if we could leave them some kind of message.
yep. So I
You
just
get started on that note. I'll
write a
ready to
note,
head
I
back
guess.
out.
Yeah, I write a note.
Okay. Are you trying to make it coded, or are you just trying to communicate?
Just trying to communicate at this point.
Okay. Fair enough.
Making it coded seems
No
too
check
difficult.
then.
Yeah,
It would be pretty difficult.
Yep. it's not my forte.
And you're not super familiar with their culture and their people,
Nope.
and so. Okay, so just write a note, and then
Long
Sam,
magic guy for writing coded messages.
you get right. You don't get a freaking 32 on an 8.
Yeah, my linguistic score is bananas with red. So.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
So you're gonna go try to put this note somewhere where you think they will find it.
Sure. I will kind of like head towards the direction that we came, towards their camp.
Okay.
And,
We'll call it a perception check.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a +2.
Okay.
It's not forest, but just for familiarity of the area now.
Yeah. Okay, 13. That's a 2.
Did I say perception? I meant survival. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I'll reroll.
Yeah.
You did say perception.
Yeah,
He did. It's
I
true.
thought I was rolling it back. I was like, I'm pretty sure I did say perception, but I meant survival for sure.
Okay.
Hopefully, it's not worse.
Okay, that's
it's
much
fine.
better.
Hey, that
Yeah,
is
it's much better. I'll take it.
We need at
22.
least the one thing to potentially go our way tonight.
So yeah, you think you found where one of them had kind of moved forward and then drop back again. So you can tell this is kind of their like sort of relay point where they'll like come in and check out stuff and then move it drift back. So you're able to leave it there amongst some like tall grass and some other things that are kind of growing in the spots.
Yeah, can I move some sticks in a weird shape?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to see, but you know that they're gonna come right up pretty much to this spot and it'll be obvious to them.
Yeah.
So okay, you get that set. You come back and then we good for that day until the meeting at nighttime.
Unfortunately, I think so.
Do I find any more roughage on the way back?
That would be a separate survival check. This was for that specific thing.
I'll do it again.
This will be flat. This one's gonna be flat.
Okay.
Hey,
Yes.
that's
Yes,
what you
he
need to
did.
use your nat 20 on, my guy.
I
That's-
This is
agree.
where all the food was.
Yeah, it's pretty much you just find where like there's like a rotting log or something. You find like a bunch of grubs and some other stuff in, and there's some edible mushrooms growing under it. Just this like hotbed of life, kind of just like a little like tucked away area that had like a bunch of like dead like grass matted over it, so it got a lot of moisture trapped in there. You find all that stuff. You find some onions sort of growing around the area. You actually find some garlic. You find some of your favorite fiddlehead ferns.
Yes. Fiddlehead burns.
And let's see. There's got to be something else you can find on that 20. Hold on.
Wild duskmelon?
Not out here.
No, could be. Birds eat.
You know,
Leaf
birds.
seeds.
Yeah,
Yeah, birds. How they transport seeds and things.
that is true. That is indeed. No, go away. That is indeed true. Roll me a. Just roll me a D100, and then, yeah, all three of you roll me a D100.
Okay.
Sam got the highest. That's funny. What is Sam's favorite fruit?
Ooh, that is a good question. So growing up on a farm, I'm gonna say probably like some wild thing like blackberries or like some kind of berry bush
Okay.
that would grow wild. So not necessarily blackberries specifically, but wild berries, I would say. That's it. That's his favorite treat to find.
Okay. You know what? Fair enough.
So if it's blueberries, it's blueberries. If it's raspberries, it's raspberries. It's whatever. Current.
You find what looks like a. You find something a little bit interesting. It looks like this bush that kind of has over time died, right? It sort of has like the branch and stuff seems to have kind of curled in like over themselves and such in a way that's a little bit, it sort of stands out from everything else. You You can tell there's just like a few like trees and stuff overhead, and there's like some other just like stalky, like long plants and stuff that maybe like obscured the sunlight for long enough, and maybe it grew for a while and finally ran out of nutrients. But it almost looks like the shape almost kind of looks like a hand, not like thumb and fingers and stuff, but you can see like all the branches are kind of curled in a way, almost like it's closed over something. And you sort of like kind of investigate it and like first maybe just like trying to figure out what kind of bush it is. You notice like tucked underneath it in this little puddle of like there's like a little divot in the mud, and there's like this puddle of startlingly clean water there. And roll me all three of you roll me 1d4. That's fine.
1, 2, 3.
That's funny. Okay. You find 6. You think they're what are they called? Shit, hold on. Is it gooseberries? Is that what I'm thinking of?
The yellow ones?
Yeah.
I think so.
Double checking. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Those are the ones that look kind of like grapes. Yeah. It was weird. They're like tiny, little like weird watermelon grape things. Yeah.
They have the little
gooseberries.
thing about
Yeah. You find 6 gooseberries in this like pristine puddle of water. They are the epitome of like exactly ripe. Even when like you like kind of touch them and pick them up, there's almost like a hum of energy out of them. They seem special somehow. You're not able to really. It's like hard to put your finger on it.
Interesting. I'll take those too. And
Okay. Yep, 6 of them.
yeah, yep, 6. Along with everything else, we probably won't have to eat the bugs tonight. Or right now. Yep, I'll come back with my haul.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, right. Left that thing, and I got some more ferns, and some nuts and onions, and some of these berries.
Wow, those look really good. Are those gooseberries?
I believe so. Well, I'll just say yeah.
They taste a lot better than goose.
I can agree with that.
So there's enough for. You said there's 6.
Mhm.
Where we can get 1 at least.
Do you
Little
just like
snack.
hand them out to everybody?
Yeah. Can just equally distribute the stuff. Got some grubs and things like that. If y'all don't want to eat them, that's fine.
Okay. Do you guys eat those or do you just hold on to them?
I will eat one.
Okay.
Yeah, I eat mine.
I'll do the one.
So, right as you kind of go to eat it, like it touches your tongue, and you get this. You almost feel full. Like when you try to eat it, you almost get the sensation of like, I don't need to eat this much. It's one berry. Though you're like, you don't feel that compulsion when you try to eat anything else. It's just when you try to eat that. That's for all of you.
Huh.
I think I will save mine.
Is there something weird about these?
Kind of.
Eli, do you want to see if they're magical?
I'll detect magic on the berries.
No, they're totally fine. Yeah, I'm kidding. No, yeah, you detect some. You like look at them. You can definitely see a magical aura on them. Slowly solidifies into a faint aura of transmutation.
Okay. So they're definitely magical berries of some kind.
Yeah. Rest of the stuff he collected, no aura at all. These are magical.
The bugs. They're not magical bugs. No.
The regular ass bugs.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to save off of eating mine until I guess we can confirm what kind of magical.
Oh, actually, hold on.
Is there?
Hey, Panda, how much health do you have? Are you fully healed now? I think you got
No.
healed. You're not.
No, I'm.
Okay, my bad. You don't get that sense.
Okay. I'll eat
Okay.
it.
So when you eat it, you gain 3 hit points. You heal 3 hit points. Yep.
They're good berries, but
Yes.
basically.
Normally, good berries only heal 1 hit point, but yes.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This one healed 3.
Yeah, these are. I'm
It
feeling
is
better.
Easily the best tasting gooseberry you've ever had. It is like it is far and away more flavorful than any other one you've eaten. It is exactly ripe. You actually feel kind of sated, like hunger and thirst feel kind of sated.
Also got some garlic. I think I might hold on to this. And just gonna...
So that
Down the
was
bag.
you shared them all. So you have one. You have one left after
Yes.
you shared with everybody. Yeah.
I will just put that in pocket. For me, I'm tempted to eat it as well.
Good.
Good, but I'm not going to.
It'll heal you 3 more hit points.
Yeah. That's the kind of weird thing of like, do I know it healed me type of.
Excuse me. I'd say probably not right away. You don't realize that it had magical healing effects. It just felt like, whoa, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
But then
okay.
we'll say like maybe like a little bit later, whenever you're like maybe changing like your bandages on the wounds you've got and stuff. You're like, holy shit, that's smaller. Like a lot of the
Yeah.
bruising is gone. The actual like laceration is basically done, and there's no way you healed that much naturally in like a day from like the morning to now. So that's probably when you'd notice it, as it's starting to get dark. So, meta-wise, yes, you would now have the meta knowledge and in character knowledge that it healed you.
Yeah. Cool. These might just top you off, guys, if you're, not feeling well.
Oh, then that's even more of a reason to save them for another day.
Yes, like you're playing a JRPG. Don't use your
Yes.
potions.
Hold on to it
What
forever.
if you need
Dude,
them
I
later?
I am the worst about that. So the worst. That
What
like
if you
I will
need them
end
later?
games with so much like healing crap on me. I'm just like, oh, I am
Only-
the worst about that.
Only 2 games have broke me of that habit.
There's been a couple where it's like, no, if you don't use your healing items, you're just fucked. The
Yeah.
Elder.
Tales series is like that. Like,
Yes,
is it?
tells. Oh my gosh, if you don't
Yeah.
use those gels, you will
gotta
regret
use
life.
items. You just have to. Now, I was still real stingy about the good shit
Yes.
until I hit like the Coliseum. But like the good shit, I saved that. I was so mad when I learned in Symphonia that in the exhibition fight with the other, like they always have the cameo battles.
Mhm.
It doesn't fucking tell you can use items.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't tell you. So I just never knew it. I kept trying to beat them
Without using
with
items.
no item usage, and it's just like, oh my god, this is impossible. And then I finally just happened to look and notice there's no X over it. Anyway, we have 2 minutes, so we're
Yeah, so I guess
probably
we're just
we'll end on as you guys are waiting and you see her approach that way. Next session we could start out that conversation, ride that out, and then see what comes next.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool.
We can do some hypotheticals, like if you're a bard, can you be proficient in shit talking?
If you're a bard, you can be proficient in anything, bro. Which is what I just
Yeah.
answered on the chat too.
Well, you don't need proficiency. Proficiency is for the weak.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
You're
That's
a jack
what
of all
our group
trades,
is
baby.
all about.
You're a jack of all trades.
We're proficient in less than nothing.
somehow, despite being a part of most of Dave's character crafting, I am perpetually surprised he isn't playing a bard.
I like bards. Hey, look, the first campaign we were going to play in Sensei, I was going to be a skull.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can bards be, is there a unarmored, not unarmored, unarmed bard, like a monk bard?
Not really, no.
Yeah, you just kind of got the multi-class.
I was just
Yeah.
theory crafting that MMA fighter, or whatever, who is a trash talker,
Dude,
or
A-
WWE.
A average
Yeah,
bear
I was
is
the same
surprised
thing.
you're not playing a wizard.
I'm a wizard in our Thursday campaign.
Yeah, he's already playing a wizard in a different game.
And I'm not playing a ranger in that one.
So if you, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of avenues to take if you want to be a shit-talking melee fighter that benefits from having high charisma. Like, I mean, you could be a paladin.
Yeah.
That's true.
There's nothing saying you can't talk shit just because you're lawful good.
Skull.
Take the oath
I'm
of
just saying.
A scald.
Skull.
Scalds would be good at it. You could be
oath of your mama. No,
what is it called? I think it's called like a Scale Fist or something. There's a dragon themed monk archetype in Pathfinder that uses charisma instead of wisdom for its like key and AC bonus and, and bonus.
That
and all
sounds cool.
stuff. Yeah, so you'd be that. You could be a ninja that specializes in unarmed. You could just be a bard that takes improved unarmed strike and has like a monk level, and is an ex monk because when you're an ex monk, you just can't gain new monk levels.
Yeah.
You still get the benefits of being a monk up till that point. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do. Pathfinder's
time.
great. Yeah, it is. So we're gonna go to the outro screen, everybody. Sorry
you
that
so
we
much
were a
for-
little distracted today.
Yeah. But
Exit
thank you
screen.
so much for being here regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are great. JB, you're the boss.
Love you. But also,
Well done for being here.
normal thing at the end, which is check out everything on YouTube, which this will be up on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff.
We got our first chat from hold on.
Oh, don't forget to send them for a
Shaikus?
raid or something.
A Chaikus to you. A Chaikus to you. I'm gonna just
I will
I'm butchering that.
let
But yeah, those are great archetypes, right?
Don't forget to raid if you want to raid.
Yeah, don't forget to raid. Yeah, Dave is
Thank
playing
you for the follow.
he's playing an exploiter wizard in our other campaign because he wanted to be broken, but also because exploits are awesome.
Yeah, exploits are awesome.
Yes, thank you very much for the follow. We are gonna find
It's
a
like an
person to
Arcanist,
raid.
but without the being an Arcanist thing. It's like
Yep.
being a wizard and getting to do Arcanist broken things. It's
who
great.
should. So who should we raid, y'all?
Oh, man.
Who
Who am I following?
Thanks. Chaikus to you.
The only
Each-
person I'm following
okay.
who's currently live is Caleb Durwood. But
Caleb who? I
Caleb
don't-
DMTG is how his
D.
DMTG.
Okay, yeah,
Oh, a
I don't
bunch
care
of
who it
people.
is.
Caleb Durwood.
Like
I like Caleb.
it's
They have,
nerdy.
like-
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Caleb's
raid
awesome.
him.
Yep.
He's getting raided. All right.
Thank you guys.
Uh,
Have
Thank
a
you.
great night, everybody.
Thank you. I'm gonna
Bye.
start the
Tuning
raid.
in.
I'm a pro at this, so I know how it works. It's definitely gonna happen.
Saving notes that I didn't
Oh,
take
there's a
for
countdown.
today.
All right. Bye,
Countdown.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.